wondered how NBA stars spend their massive paychecks? Get ready, because we're diving into the wild world of their most ridiculously expensive splurges. From private jets to exotic pets, you won't believe what these athletes are buying. Stick around until the end to discover the craziest purchase of all time. Let's jump right in. While most NBA players splurge on cars, former NBA star Joe Johnson, at number 20 on this list, chose to indulge in a massive shoe collection. Calling it a collection is an understatement. Reportedly, Johnson owns thousands of shoes, although the exact number remains undisclosed. His collection ranges from Air Jordans and signature lines to rare limited edition sneakers that make sneakerheads drool. Imagine having access to every rare Air Jordan, Kobe, or Durant sneaker right in your own home. That's the kind of collection we're talking about here. The estimated value of these shoes is conservatively in the $200,000 to $300,000 range, but it could be significantly higher. To top it off, Johnson didn't skimp on security for his prized kicks. He built a vault-like storage equipped with a James Bond-style fingerprint system. As ISO Joe himself says, you can't get in the vault unless you're Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson's impressive shoe collection is a slam dunk for any sneakerhead. But our next NBA star took his pampering game to a whole new level, with a spa treatment that's both luxurious and, well, a bit unconventional. Coming in at number 19 is an unconventional recovery method by former All-Star Amar'e Stoudemire. While most NBA players would take ice baths for post-workout recovery, Stoudemire takes a different, more expensive approach. Believing that the antioxidants in red wine, particularly resveratrol, helped with muscle recovery, skin rejuvenation, and inflammation reduction, Stoudemire would fill a bathtub with warm water and a significant amount of red wine and soak for a period of time. This extravagant practice, costing hundreds of dollars per session depending on the quality of the wine, quickly adds up if performed regularly. The media widely covered Stoudemire's wine baths, with reactions ranging from intrigue to viewing it as excessive luxury. Does it work? While the premise of red wine baths or vinotherapy seems plausible, there are no published medical studies confirming its effectiveness. The skin simply doesn't absorb enough antioxidants through bathing to make a significant difference. This proved true for Amar'e, who struggled with various knee injuries throughout his career. Despite playing 14 seasons, he never cracked the 1,000-game mark, falling short of the durability one might hope for from such an extravagant recovery method. Amar'e's vinotherapy may sound excessive, but number 18 ranks higher in the stupidity index. We're talking about something that literally sparkles under the spotlight: LaMelo Ball's diamond-encrusted teeth. Yes, you heard that right. When most people think of celebrating success, they might buy a new car, or maybe a fancy watch. But not LaMelo. He took it to a whole new level with a grill that's worth more than most people's cars. LaMelo Ball, the then 19-year-old rookie sensation and the youngest of the Ball brothers, celebrated getting drafted in true LaMelo fashion. He enlisted AP the jeweler to craft a pair of 14K white gold chompers, adorned with VVS diamonds and a honeycomb set. This dazzling set reportedly cost between $30,000 and $40,000. But don't worry, these chompers aren't permanently attached to LaMelo's teeth. They're custom-made to fit his teeth perfectly, allowing him to pop them in and out as he pleases. 40 grand might sound extravagant, but considering LaMelo just signed a rookie extension worth $260 million, you have to wonder, what will he do next to celebrate? But hold on folks, the bling doesn't stop there. Ja Morant, the high-flying star of the Memphis Grizzlies, decided that dunking on opponents wasn't enough. He needed to dazzle them with his diamond-encrusted smile, too. Morant enlisted the help of celebrity custom jeweler Johnny Dang for his flashy upgrade. He first showed off his new grill during the 2022 All-Star Weekend Media Day, dazzling 30 or so members of the press. When asked about the cost, Morant casually replied, "How much money? Like 30K. You know if you do the diamonds, you gotta go big. You feel me?" Now, $30,000 might be a fortune for the average Joe. But for Ja Morant, who rakes in tens of millions per year, it's chump change. His teammates Brandon Clark and Jaren Jackson Jr. also got their own custom diamond grills from Johnny Dang, making the Memphis Grizzlies arguably the iciest team in the league. And there you have it. Ja Morant lighting up the court in his smile with that dazzling diamond grill. But speaking of dazzling, let's dive into something even wilder. From diamonds to sharks, yes, you heard that right. Next up on our list at number 16 of stupidly expensive things NBA stars buy, we're plunging into the deep end with Gilbert Arenas and his jaw-dropping fascination for sharks. This isn't your typical pet story. Gilbert took things to a whole new level with his very own custom-built shark tank. Gilbert Arenas' meteoric rise to stardom is the stuff of legend. From a second-round pick with the Golden State Warriors to peak with the Washington Wizards that earned him a whopping $111 million contract. Known for his eccentric spending habits, Arenas has splurged on everything from $675 car washes to an $8,000 Mercedes-Benz toy. So it's no surprise that he spends $80,000 annually on the upkeep of his shark tank, ensuring his aquatic pets are well fed and living in luxury. And that's Gilbert Arenas for you, bringing the ocean's fiercest predators right into his living room. But speaking of making a splash, our next NBA star turned his passion for music into something truly unique and groovy. Before his time with the Heat, Jimmy Butler was a breakout star in Chicago, earning a $90 million extension for his stellar performance. How did he reward himself? With a fish tank, but not just any ordinary tank. Butler's custom aquarium reflects his passion for music and fish. He enlisted Animal Planet's tanked crew to create an aquarium for his new River North, Illinois pad, where even the fish could bump to the beats. And that's exactly what he got, a 6,000-pound boombox aquarium. Wade King and Brett Raymer initially pitched a basketball-themed fish tank, but Butler immediately shot down the idea, saying,
"Terrible idea. The basketball idea is not the right idea for this situation."
Okay, so what do you like?
I'm a really big music guy. No, big boombox.
Boombox.
Right here.
The tanked crew delivered, designing a massive 6,000-pound aquarium with functional speakers, perfect for listening to Taylor Swift on his off days. The cost? It wasn't disclosed, but a custom aquarium with all the bells and whistles, filters, lighting, and functional speakers could easily cost upwards of $50,000. Jimmy Butler's boombox fish tank is undeniably one of the coolest and most unique aquariums we've ever seen. But our next NBA star took his love for customization to a whole new level. We're talking about the one and only Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq's enormous 7'1", 300-pound frame played a huge role in his Hall of Fame career, including an elusive three-peat with the Lakers. But finding a comfortable bed for a man his size is no easy task. During one of his shopping trips, Shaq discovered a king-size Tempur-Pedic bed that he found comfortable. But there was one problem. It was too small, with his feet hanging off the edge. So he took to Instagram to ask if they could customize one for him, and they obliged, delivering a 72 by 98-inch mattress, complete with a Dunkman logo. A standard king-size Tempur-Pedic mattress easily costs upwards of $6,000. A customized one for Shaq, that's likely over $10,000, conservatively speaking. But this isn't even the most expensive bed owned by Shaq. In his Orlando mansion, which he later sold, Shaq had an even larger and more luxurious bed, measuring 15 by 30 feet. The biggest bed in the world, according to Shaq. This massive custom creation, adorned with a Superman logo and situated in his master bedroom suite, likely cost between $20,000 and $50,000. But if you thought that was wild, just wait until you hear about our next NBA star's slithery companions. Dwight Howard, the NBA's other Superman, once revealed in an interview that he had as many as 50 snakes at one time, claiming these reptiles are docile and have a zen-like effect. He added that snakes can understand human beings by the heat they give out, and that every snake I've had only snapped at people who weren't good for me. Owning snakes does come with risks, and Howard explained that he was once bitten, it was a new snake, and they were nervous about their environment. When Minnie bit me, she kind of knew she was wrong and balled up like, "Man, I shouldn't have done this." I wasn't mad or hurt, I just felt bad that she was so afraid. Considering Howard's preference for exotic snakes, each would likely cost around $1,000. With 50 snakes, that would easily add up to $50,000, not including the food, enclosures, and maintenance. Adding another twist to this tale, Howard was reportedly sued by Armika Nabha and Kamisha Shellman for $50,000, plus damages for failing to pay them for taking care of his exotic snake collection. From snakes to staggering bills, let's talk about Eddie Curry and his infamous financial woes. Known for his towering presence on the court, Curry's off-court spending included a jaw-dropping loan and an insanely high cable bill that left everyone scratching their heads. With a 7-foot frame, athleticism, and massive potential, Curry earned the nickname Baby Shaq. He was one of the last high school prospects to jump directly to the pros, a move that hurt his development due to the lack of collegiate experience. Drafted 4th overall by the Chicago Bulls in 2001, Curry possessed immense physical gifts. However, weight issues and inconsistent play, particularly his subpar rebounding and defense, plagued his career. Despite these setbacks, he still managed to earn roughly $70 million, which should have set him up for life. But Curry's poor financial decisions drained his fortune. His lavish lifestyle included spending $6,000 per month on a personal chef, $17,000 per month to support relatives and dependents, and buying expensive cars for himself and his family. Curry's financial troubles didn't stop there. He faced several lawsuits from various parties, including a former limo driver who alleged unpaid wages and lenders seeking repayment of loans. These expenses forced him to take out a $570,000 loan at a reportedly absurd 85% annual interest rate, totaling $75,000 monthly to repay the $1.2 million he owed to All-Star Capital, Even more baffling was Curry's cable bill, which totaled a whopping $1,075 per month for satellite TV, premium channels, pay-per-view services, and possibly multiple accounts or extensive equipment rentals. His exorbitant cable bill became a symbol of his broader financial mismanagement, highlighting how unchecked everyday expenses can snowball into significant financial woes. These compounded issues led to Eddie Curry filing for bankruptcy in 2010, underscoring the severe impact of poor financial management and predatory lending practices. Fortunately, Curry learned from his financial missteps and has since recovered. He now uses his experience to mentor other athletes, helping them avoid the same financial pitfalls. If you thought a $1,075 cable bill was a splurge, brace yourself for Chris Singleton's extraordinary approach to chasing fortune. Singleton's NBA career was brief, lasting just 3 seasons with the Washington Wizards before he took his game overseas to China, Greece, and Russia. You'd think he'd invest his hard-earned cash in a foreign home or cultural treasures, right? Well, Singleton had other ideas. He blew a whopping $10,000 on lottery tickets, convinced that the Mega Millions jackpot, worth a staggering $640 million, was his ticket to unimaginable riches. It was either that or blowing it in the clubs. Singleton told the Associated Press about his $10,000 lottery splurge. While the logic might seem sound, it's a questionable choice compared to investing. According to Mega Millions, the odds of winning the jackpot are 1 in 302.5 million. Despite buying in bulk to increase his chances, not a single ticket held the magic numbers. In the end, he turned $10,000 into nothing. Had he invested that money in a diversified portfolio, he could have amassed more than his earnings from 3 seasons with the Wizards. Just shy of $5 million, according to Hoops Hype. Chris Singleton's lottery ticket spree was certainly a high-stakes gamble. But our next NBA star's purchase takes us from the realm of chance to the desert sands. From playing the odds to acquiring an odd pet, let's delve into Carmelo Anthony's most unexpected companion. Carmelo Anthony, known as one of the most prolific scorers in NBA history, certainly has a taste for the finer things in life. He owns a $10 million+ New York condo, complete with a wine cellar that would make most connoisseurs green with envy. But his choice of pets is just as intriguing. In 2011, Anthony tweeted, "Everybody got dogs and cats as pets, I got a camel." An image of Anthony standing beside his new camel quickly began circulating. Considering Anthony was living in a Manhattan condo, the public couldn't help but wonder, where on earth was this camel going to live? Camels, it turns out, are more loyal than dogs and very affectionate towards their owners. However, they come with a hefty price tag, costing between $5,000 and $25,000 in the USA, according to the Daily Wildlife. Carmelo Anthony's pet camel certainly adds a touch of the exotic to his life. But our next NBA star took home customization to superheroic heights. From desert dunes to the Dark Knight, let's explore Danny Granger's ultimate hideaway. Retired NBA player Danny Granger, a 2009 All-Star and Most Improved Player award recipient, played 10 seasons in the league before a knee injury ended his career. Fortunately, Granger's nerdy hobbies, including his love for all things Batman, gave him a new passion project. Growing up, Danny Granger was a huge fan of superheroes, especially Batman. So, when he bought a mansion in Albuquerque, New Mexico, it's no surprise that he incorporated a secret cave entrance inspired by the early Batman movies starring Michael Keaton. The design featured a spinning platform for his cars and even a moat, making his Batcave dreams a reality. But not everything went as planned. "I wanted an underground tunnel entrance, but I had to scrap that idea," Granger shared with 770 KKOB-AM. "Turns out, there are a lot of state codes and laws against it," he laughed. "So we had to take that out. But we still have the underground setup with rotating platforms for my cars and even a moat. It's going to be interesting to see how it all comes together." While Granger reportedly earned over $70 million in his career, he's no Bruce Wayne, and likely spent a good chunk of his earnings on this massive man cave. Construction news publication Big Rents estimates a structure comparable to Batman's cave in the Keaton films would cost $7.2 million. Danny Granger's Batcave is a superhero dream come true, blending high-tech gadgets and secret layers into one incredible man cave. But our next NBA star took his love for luxury to the wrist, with a watch that's as much a statement piece as it is a timepiece. After exploring the depths of Granger's Batcave, let's shift gears to James Harden and his eye-popping investment in horology. Known for his dazzling moves on the court and his distinctive style off it, Harden's taste for the finer things is epitomized by his Richard Mille RM30 watch. According to GQ magazine, Harden is like the Santa Claus of Richard Mille. He has a famous beard, gives away lots of presents, and sends things away, including $70,000 watches, to his workshop for tinkering. But this isn't the same RM30 that left the factory. Harden swapped out the standard bracelet for one in pearl white and flooded the watch's case with a sheet of diamonds, adding an estimated $100,000 to the watch's value. This is why they call Harden the ultimate floor raiser. James Harden's Richard Mille RM30 is the ultimate blend of luxury and precision. But our next NBA legend took his love for speed and efficiency to the skies. From wristwatches to rotor blades, let's soar into the world of Kobe Bryant and his helicopter. Kobe Bryant, known for his relentless drive and unparalleled work ethic, found a unique way to maximize his time and avoid LA traffic by flying high in his very own helicopter. Fed up with getting stuck in traffic and missing precious moments with his daughters, Kobe Bryant sought a way to bypass the bottlenecks and be there for important events. The solution? Buy a helicopter. Traffic started getting really bad, Bryant explained. I was sitting in traffic and ended up missing a school play. I had to figure out a way to train and focus on my craft without compromising family time. He continued, that's when I looked into helicopters. Being able to get down and back in 15 minutes was a game changer. And Kobe didn't settle for just any chopper. He invested in a Sikorsky S-76, a sleek machine capable of carrying up to 12 passengers with a price tag of around $13 million. Chump change for an NBA legend worth several $100 million. It may be an extravagant solution, but it's an efficient way to bypass LA's notorious traffic jams. Kobe Bryant's helicopter gave him the freedom to soar above LA's bustling streets. But our next NBA legend took aerial luxury to an entirely new altitude. From helicopters to private jets, let's climb aboard Michael Jordan's personalized plane. Michael Jordan, arguably the NBA's GOAT, MJ extended his legacy of excellence into the skies with his own private jet. He owns a Gulfstream G 550 private jet, the same model favored by other billionaire athletes like Tiger Woods and Cristiano Ronaldo. A living legend known for his insatiable competitive drive and unmatched skills, Michael Jordan was the driving force behind the Chicago Bulls' 2 historic three-peats in the 1990s. His immense popularity has led to massive sponsorship deals with brands like Nike. According to Forbes, Jordan's net worth is now around $3 billion. MJ purchased his Gulfstream G 550 on August 17, 2016. To facilitate worldwide travel and simplify his personal flying experience. At the time of purchase, the aircraft with registration N236MJ was worth a whopping $61.5 million. While aircraft registration numbers typically aren't intriguing, Jordan's plane is an exception. The N23 refers to his iconic jersey number. The 6 signifies his NBA championship rings, and MJ represents his initials. Initially painted in the North Carolina Tar Heels powder blue and white, the jet now sports a unique gray, white, and black elephant print, reminiscent of Air Jordan sneakers, with the tail section featuring the iconic Jumpman logo. The Gulfstream G 550 is modified for up to 12 hours of continuous flight without refueling. It cruises at an altitude between 40,000 and 41,000 feet, with hourly flight costs ranging between $700 and $1,000. Michael Jordan's private jet is the ultimate in-air luxury, a fitting way for the GOAT to travel in style. But our next NBA superstar knows that sometimes the best place to be isn't in the skies, but at home. Let's step inside LeBron James's Brentwood mansion, from high-flying jets to high-end living. Arguably the second greatest basketball player of all time, LeBron James has some impressive moves off the court as well. He purchased a lush 8-bed, 11-bath mansion in the upscale Los Angeles neighborhood of Brentwood for a cool $23 million. It's safe to say this luxurious property is fit for a king. The mansion offers stunning views stretching from downtown Los Angeles to the ocean. It boasts a custom chef's kitchen for crafting savory dishes, with natural French oak and marble floors reclaimed from Spain that create an ultimate sense of luxury. Upstairs, you'll find 4 suite bedrooms, including the luxurious master suite featuring dual bathrooms, showroom-level walk-in closets, and a private patio. Known for being a wine and cigar connoisseur, LeBron's home includes a wine cellar and a cigar room with state-of-the-art air-purifying technology. And what baller doesn't have exotic cars? This mansion features a proper auto gallery to store his prized vehicles. To round out this amazing property, there's a guest suite and an indoor-outdoor gym connected to a spa with a steam room, sauna, shower, and massage room. LeBron James' $23 million Brentwood mansion might not be cheap, but it doesn't sound too outrageous given that he's on track to become a billionaire. However, this next purchase will definitely raise your eyebrows. Allen Iverson was a basketball icon, once touted as a potential heir to the throne left vacant by MJ's retirement in 1998. As one of the most popular players of the early 2000s, money flowed effortlessly for AI. During his prime years, he routinely earned over $20 million per season, bolstered by a lifetime endorsement deal with Reebok. However, his downfall wasn't surprising. given his reckless spending habits. Iverson had a sweet tooth for two things: expensive cars and flashy jewelry. One of his most extravagant purchases was a custom Bentley Continental GT with a base price of over $250,000. Iverson's Bentley reportedly featured a diamond-encrusted logo and other lavish customizations, easily adding a couple of $100,000 more to its value. While the exact amount Iverson spent remains undisclosed, it likely pushed the cost to close to $500,000. And that Bentley was just one in Iverson's luxury car collection. He reportedly owned more than 10 high-end vehicles and even gifted one of his Bentleys to teammate Larry Hughes. Iverson's spending habits extended beyond cars. He once lost $1 million gambling in a single night. Unsurprisingly, Iverson blew through his $200 million career earnings with such lavish spending and went bankrupt only 2 years after retiring. It got so bad that during a divorce proceeding, he told his wife, Tawana, that he couldn't even afford a cheeseburger. Fortunately, his Reebok deal included a stipulation guaranteeing him $32 million, which he'll receive when he turns 55. Additionally, Iverson reportedly receives $800,000 annually from Adidas, which acquired Reebok in 2005. If you think buying a diamond-encrusted Bentley Continental is crazy, then number 3 on this list hits another level. Fresh off a season where he won Sixth Man of the Year after the 2013 season, J.R. Smith landed a 4-year, $24 million contract with the New York Knicks. How did he celebrate? In the most J.R. Smith way possible, buying a $450,000 armored truck. But this wasn't just any armored vehicle, it was the Gurkha F5, built by Teradyne Armored Vehicles, essentially a street-legal tank. You might recognize it as the same beast The Rock drove in Fast 5. J.R. Smith made quite the entrance, rolling up to the Meatpacking District restaurant Catch in his brand new armored vehicle. Why buy a massive armored car in New York City? According to JR himself, I'm at war with the haters. And with more haters than your average NBA player, that statement makes perfect sense. At number 2 on this list is one of the most mind-blowing purchasing gaffes by a Hall of Fame player. The amount wasn't outrageous, but the circumstances surrounding it certainly were. In his illustrious 17-year career, Scottie Pippen earned a hefty $109 million, a life-changing sum for ordinary folks like you and me. However, Pippen's current net worth of $20 million pales in comparison to other Hall of Fame legends like Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Shaquille O'Neal. Never known for his financial savvy, Scottie Pippen made one of the most head-scratching purchases ever. A used Gulfstream private jet in 2002 for $4.3 million, without checking if the engine worked. It turned out the plane needed about $1 million in repairs, roughly 20% of its value. The worst part, even after the costly fixes, the plane never passed an airworthiness inspection, essentially turning his $5 million+ purchase into an expensive paperweight. Fortunately for Scottie, he recouped some of his losses, winning a $2.37 million settlement against Miami businessman Craig Frost. However, that was just about 25% of the $8 million he initially demanded. Topping our list, and probably the only purchase that outdoes Pippen's attempt at traveling in private luxury, is Latrell Sprewell's infamous yacht purchase. To understand the absurdity of this purchase, let's take a step back into his NBA career. Latrell Sprewell was a former All-Star who played for several teams, including the 1999 New York Knicks team that made the finals, and later the Minnesota Timberwolves. He was supposed to be the third member of the Wolves' Big Three, alongside Kevin Garnett and Sam Cassell. In 2004, the Timberwolves offered Sprewell a $21 million contract, which he declined, famously saying, "I have to feed my family." One of his most outlandish purchases was a $1.5 million luxury yacht. While this might seem like chump change, considering he earned nearly $100 million, the fact that he needed a loan to buy the boat speaks volumes about his financial mismanagement. Ultimately, turning down the $21 million contract proved disastrous. Sprewell faced multiple foreclosures and repossessions, including his luxury yacht, which he ironically named Milwaukee's Best. The yacht was eventually seized by marshals. Earning $100 million can be life-changing, but without smart financial management, it won't last long.